TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Atari. In the previous episode, we continue on day 3 of the trial. We cross-examined Chief Gant, and now we're on the final trial right now, where this could be the final episode. If you're hyped for this final episode, make sure to hit that like button, support, greatly appreciate to the channel, as we're gonna go into this. It could be an hour long. I don't know if I'm gonna split it up, but we'll go for it. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. This recording number 9.
Now then, for the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand. Miss Lana Skye, you're the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide a call with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Gant.
My back hurts. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. Let me get my voice.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Why does she always face the other direction?
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing so because of me.
Well, what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. Here we go now. Gant and the fabrication.
I worked...
Okay. How long? How many years exactly?
For ever since I made a senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then. So that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia.
Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why.
But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail.
You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And...
Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life.
But what she did was justified self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything.
That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana!
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago?
I'm sorry if I'm coughing too much. It's just too much right now. You say you did this all by yourself?
Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body.
What? That prosecutor marshal died from an unfortunate accident.
That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change the statement.
You mean Miss Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by the Dark?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies.
I'll just protect me.
So when you found a scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Okay, so that one we have to press on more. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound?
And then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head over your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why did you plant the knife? Why did you do that?
Come on now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out.
I don't. Very well, let's add this witness testimony. The reason Miss Skye fabricated the knife.
I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon.
Yes, and leaving at that, my point at the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried inside the victim's stab wound?
Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did.
Was that really the reason why I had to do it? So you rearranged the crime scene? Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period.
Are you so desperate to hide the fact? You're willing to risk that death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. Any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying.
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
You've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. And then back to this. Alrighty then. I wonder, will we get... Let's try this. Why did you move the body? When you show up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this more in detail.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the evidence strengthened my plan.
Pieces of the jar, you mean?
Yes, that wretched jar Mr. Wright showed us earlier.
Wretched jar?
In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during the struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there is more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
So it changes if we had to go for something else, huh? When was this shattered? Final fragment found in Chief. It's written in blood. Check. Alrighty then, what am I looking for? What am I looking for? If this can load, that'd be great, because I have no idea which one am I supposed to press. Piece of the jar that shattered during the thread in the plan. Present? Okay. Press on that. When did you move the body? She adds. Okay. I don't know where this goes, but okay. Miss Skye, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been useless. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a sickening contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction in my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly, so... And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah, makes sense. He couldn't have written Emma's name on the shattered jar. Well, I wasn't thinking.
Order! Your Honor, it would appear.
Appear what?
More information is needed to regard this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony.
Jar and message in blood.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room, but I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Jar and message in blood. Blood traces on the jar. It was dark in the room, but I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. So the jar was already broken.
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
So it looks like a feeble as the defense case.
But that as feeble as the judge's judgment.
You are an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you did investigate what was written on that jar piece?
Normally I would have.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to the dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you do that for me?
It seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Doc killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in the situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces.
But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
Detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and camera with me. Even I carry my bottle of emergency luminol whenever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
So you illegally rearranged the crime scene.
Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we got into the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of prosecutor office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around.
I don't get it.
What was the possibility? No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial. No evidence shall be shown without the approval. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Oh. How can that be handy? I'll never know. The reason why? I got nothing. Okay, Phoenix tells... Okay. Word statement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, seriously, it's just all one big old thing, but I never think at all. Miss Skye, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
What?
We found the final piece of the jar in Chief's gun safe.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about the final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she got out every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, and she's left with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief God got there before you.
Why couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
It may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, there. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. Or if you're not implying that person was Chief Gaunt, at the time he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Alright, we broke the judge.
No! Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon and Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. They proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question, what is the action called?
Fabrication.
Well, why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And here is the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet.
No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the what? The defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. That makes sense.
Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana may be right after all.
What do you mean, right?
So do you tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
Alright, the witness may testify once more.
Here we go now. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if all really was a fabrication, then Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
I must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana says she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check the evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
Why is in the book? Check. Zoom in on that, will ya? What are we looking at this? Zoom out real quick. I have no idea what we're looking at. Huh? What is this? Hey, there's a picture here.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. That's because I got to the criminal affairs only after I rearranged the scene. Yeah, Mr. Wright! That piece of cutout from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gun's safe? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Didn't we do that already?
Very well, defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay.